It's fucking October and it is fucking fall and the fucking weather is so nice. It's so nice to have the windows open and to go for walks and to wear a second layer and to see the trees and the leaves. It's so nice. This is the best month of the entire year. And I did not forget, I promised my lovely friends, of which I consider all of you personally to be a part of, a weekly stream about a person of interest who is no longer with us. Now, I was going to do this stream about a specific person, but the issue is that there is a deficit of phenomenally interesting people who are dead. And that I could reasonably cover in an hour to 2 hours. Now, it's been proposed that I do a stream on Terry A. Davis. However, I have said I will not do a stream on Terry because he's too interesting and it would not do it justice to stream on Terry. There are better existing documentaries on Terry already, and it feels exploitative to talk about Terry because Terry's a legitimately interesting person. So as opposed to rushing through to a person stream today, I will do it later. I will do a second stream this week and probably each subsequent week on Thursday, which means that on Halloween Day, we will be having a fifth person stream. So I do have my work cut out ahead of me. I want to do this. But I promise it will be done, at least to the best of my ability. I may also expand the definition of dead to encompass people who are definitely never coming back, at least in a reasonable sphere of time. Because I'm very tempted to do a stream on Nick Bate, who is disgusting, profoundly hideous, and horrible, but kind of interesting. And I know he'll probably never get out of prison. He'll probably die in prison. I'm surprised he hasn't killed himself already, but he'll probably kill himself at some point or somebody will kill him. And I guess if I want to do a stream on him, I shouldn't spoil the story, but there is something there. There's a lot, I don't know. There's not too many people who are dead, but there are a lot of people who are gone, missing, or in prison. Otherwise disposed of. So. Discord chat doesn't show up on stream. I don't know what to do about it. I can't fix it now. So. A lot has happened. I don't know. I make an effort not to cover things that are too widely talked about. You know what I should do? I should dedicate the opening of each stream to shit that I said last stream that made people very angry. I still do this. I get people literally sending me emails, like hunting down my email address and sending me messages saying what books they've read from cover to cover that are over 200 pages or 1,200 pages long. I get people sending me emails and sending me messages on Twitter telling me that the skit from the Greta stream that I'm still recovering from, I just got my strike. I'm debating if I want to appeal the cyberbullying strike that I got for the Greta stream from last week. Because as far as I'm concerned, like, she's in the UN. She's a public figure. I can make fun of public figures. How the hell do I get in trouble for making fun of somebody who I literally can't not know and make fun of? It was literally impossible to avert your gaze from. I don't know. So I might appeal that. But in that stream, I also make fun of her mother, because her mother is like this freak who is apparently really famous, and people make fun of her. Like, they do skits and stuff ridiculing her. And like, apparently one of the things that I showed in my stream was someone making fun of her as if she was the one who was doing it. and like 8 different Swedish people replied saying, "Josh, you're so cringe. You didn't do your research. That's someone making fun of Greta's mother. That's not actually her." And I'm like, well, number one, you're Swedish, and I don't care what you think. Number two, I think that in and of itself makes a significant statement. That she's so famous for being a freak of nature in Sweden that people, performance artists, are going out of their way to make fun of her in Swedish ways. So I retract absolutely nothing, but I think that is a good idea in terms of filler content. Just having a segment dedicated to yelling at people who decided to try and correct me. So I don't know. Usually by this point in the stream we have about 1,000 people, but now we only have 500. I'm wondering if Google has decided that I don't know. Maybe I fucked something up. Maybe I bored people or something. But I'm curious if I'm not late. I'm curious if after I got my strike, someone flipped like a switch on my account and they decided don't promote this person in the sidebar or anything. You did get a notification? I think a lot of people got a notification, but I think I'm on a bad boy list now because it's like a noticeable drop of like 1,000 people. Oh well. Streaming while normies work. I got one. Oh, I did. It's probably my fault because I said I would be streaming later. That's okay. It doesn't matter. People will watch retroactively. That's fine. I should I should probably save that one for later. I don't want to get in trouble. I have to pretend to be a good boy for a little bit before I start talking about that. God, I've lined up a very problematic series of things to talk about today, so I've fucked myself in terms of getting good boy points back. We have to have an entire stream dedicated to talking about just like mid-roll ad Israeli tourist commercials in my streams to get back in the good graces of YouTube. Whatever. Okay. I do want to talk about this because I think it's in the interest. It's in the realm of things that people care about. Also, if you are watching, I've gotten my new avatar, which is a little doggo. It's the old doggo, but it's his brain is out, and he has vicious Dracula fangs, bared, very intimidating. If you are someone who is visiting, if you are a topic of the site, this avatar will intimidate you with the fangs. Anyways, Frederick, or Copy Paste, or Hot Wheels, whatever you want to call him, has been probably the most vocal like antagonist, the most vocal opponent. He's been the most vocal opponent of 8chan since the whole media blitz, since the latest shooting or whatever that got people pissed off. And he met with the owner of NTT Technology, or NT Technology. NTT is a ISP in Japan, and Jim Watkins' company is called NT Technology. Tom Riddle. I think I've met him at least once. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I have. Anyways, they met together, and he claims that Tom said that 8chan is dead and never coming back. And he quotes, 8chan is a defunct entity. And in the subsequent tweet, he says, they're apparently planning a new chan, a new image board. They don't have, Tom doesn't know the details of it. But essentially what they want to do is, according to Frederick, and he could be wrong, is they want to make an entirely new image board, close 8chan, make a new image board specifically for QAnon. They want to have an entire image board dedicated specifically to QAnon, because apparently, I mean, if you think about it from a financial standpoint, it is a extremely smart decision to do that. Because the QAnon crowd is old. The QAnon crowd is conventionally rebellious. They're not like fascists. They're not like Nazis. They're not like pedophiles. They're none of that. There's none of that in the QAnon crowd. They're just like old people who believe in the Illuminati. And the Illuminati does not wear kippahs or anything of the sort. The Illuminati are an ambiguous, non-religious, non-ethnic organization of people exhibiting traits of the dark triad who have absolutely no connection to anything else or any nation state. They just hate countries and they want to subjugate everyone because they're evil and they like power. So the QAnon boomers are very safe in that regard. They have money because they're old and they all work because they're conservative, and they're very pro. Their concept of freedom of speech starts and ends with this idea of deplatforming. They don't have anything that's like an extreme libertarian perspective that's actually dangerous to the legality of the site. So as long as they can talk about their Illuminati stuff, they're perfectly happy. They're also very willing to spend money on talking about Illuminati stuff. They're very easy to advertise to because they're old. It's just from a marketing perspective, the QAnon stuff is something that if bottled and sold would be it would be like liquid gold. It would be extremely profitable. So that's the idea. I mean, I think the idea itself has enough merit. And it's also extremely large. I think the QAnon Research Board was like the largest board on 8chan before it went down. So in terms of taking 8chan and finding a way to make it profitable, that's the way to go about it. Now, they could bring back 8chan, but really 8chan itself has so much baggage tied to it at this point that it would be hard to do. Because if it comes back up, people are going to start shitting on it again. Like, people were after 8chan hard after the shooting. Like, when it got kicked off of Cloudflare, like, it got properly fucked. The immediate fallout of that stuff was pretty shocking in terms of how many technologically competent people were actively hunting it, trying to find what service providers it relied on, and hounding them into taking down 8chan. Like, it got real bad and real scary. So I don't know. That's my thoughts on that. I mean, I'm not. Last time I talked about this, people said that I sounded like I was in favor of 8chan not returning, but that's not true. I would always prefer more websites to fewer websites. And in something I'm going to be talking about real soon, I think that the more people out there and the more websites out there doing small acts of defiance really matter. And I mean, I'll save that rant for a second because I want to touch on that. But in terms of this, that's my thought. So ED apparently is down. ED's been down for like an entire month, I think, and it's to the point where like Google is de-indexing Encyclopedia Dramatica, and it's really sad. I don't know what the fuck happened to it. I know that Sean, the guy who was ostensibly in front of it, was in contact with me very briefly to thank me for providing hosting services for the front end for Encyclopedia Dramatica. And then shortly after that, it went down. And he had Easy Peasy contact me and ask about if that was on my end. And I said, no, it wasn't. Everything is fine on my end. And it's never come up. So whoever was doing the back end stuff of Encyclopedia Dramatica has essentially killed it, I guess. You miss 8chan? Aw. I do miss Stream Me. Stream Me was fun. Stream Me shows what happens if you take a bunch of like hungry animals and you just start dumping money at them. Money is like jet fuel. You start throwing $500 a week around, man, you start seeing the claws and the fangs. People start going for each other. That was a good time. That was an exciting period of time. You get banned for saying the N-word? Where? Oh, on 4chan? 4chan is very... The biggest complaint I have about 4chan is that, like, the moderation there is so arbitrary. Like, day to day, what gets you banned and how long it gets you banned and if your appeals get accepted, all that shit is, like, so... It completely depends on, like, what asshole, what Janny is sitting there doing the work. And I guess usually it's slanted against you because the people doing most of the work are like the most lifeless, pathetic people who do the majority of the work. And the cool people who are lenient aren't there as much. It's frustrating. What's the final word on Stream Me personal threats? I don't know. They vanished and that was it. I don't think they ever put out a statement or anything. I remember I had the Stream Me app on my phone, and I only deleted that recently. Like, I deleted that like a month ago because I was cleaning up my phone and I saw it there. I'm like, oh, fuck, that's sad. I opened it and I got like an HTTP error, couldn't connect the remote server. I'm like, oh, that's sad. Streaming was too pure for this world. I'm telling you, man. That's a harsh world. It's going to get worse. Because the big one that scared me about 8chan was the ISP, Voxility. Voxility, I think I talked about them before. Cloudflare is a HTTP reverse proxy. It sits between the client and the remote server. Voxility is basically Cloudflare at a networking level. Voxility will sit between your data center and the tier 1 networks and filter out traffic for you, much like Cloudflare would, but at a lower level. And it's a better service in terms of what it's capable of. It's a more flexible DDoS filtering system. And them deciding to, and doing the whole social justice PC crowd pleasing thing about not supporting hate and whatever bullshit they spun. Them, whenever I see something that is like that, something that is not like Cloudflare gets a lot of media attention because when you look up who hosts Kiwi farms, most services will tell you erroneously that it's Cloudflare. When you look up Encyclopedia Germanica, it's Cloudflare. When you look up 4chan, it's Cloudflare. When you looked up 8chan, it's Cloudflare. When you looked up Daily Stormer, it's Cloudflare. And that is the immediate obvious target for these companies, for, the outrage crowd, for removing services from the internet, is Cloudflare. So Cloudflare has to manage its image and has to handle things as fairly as possible while keeping their business afloat. But there are so many small companies that nobody ever hears about. The majority of people, even people in the outrage culture, never talk about and never hear about because they're silently there at a low level doing their job. And when those companies start to speak out and start deleting shit and start changing the way that the internet works, specifically to fuck over a single website and people on that website, a relatively small website, a relatively shitty website, that's what scares me, because that shouldn't be happening. The sleeping giants of the internet should remain asleep because it benefits everyone for them to remain asleep. Yeah, and I don't know. So in terms of 8chan, that's what scared me the most out of their the whole ordeal was specifically Voxility. Yeah, I know. It's scary. Speaking of Cloudflare, I got this. I got this DMCA. Not through Cloudflare. I got it they try to complain, and then when you submit a DMCA complaint, it returns to the complainee via Cloudflare information about the website so that you can send emails to them. And then after they got that email address, they sent me this DMCA notice. And It is one of the most hideously malformed things I've ever received. This quote block, if you're watching, doesn't even do it justice, because it is the original email had HTML, and it was formatted like an HTML 1.0 web page, and it was just a bleeding eyesore. The formatting in this is not much worse than the actual formatting in the email. But in general, it's a DMCA takedown notice for Pink Sparkles Media LLC. And I can't click the link that. Actually, let me hide it so I can just read the name of the person, because it's a link to page 8 of the Andy Worski thread from 2018, and it's just the address for someone named Aaron Bilgin, who is apparently someone that people in the live streaming, the in-real live streaming, know. She's like a hanger on to Ice Poseidon and stuff. She apparently is like a cokehead. And this DMCA is just fantastically terrible. She shoved a carrot in her butt? Is that true? Did she do it on stream? Is she that kind of streamer? Is Andy Worski still insane, by the way? Sweet Aaron. That's right. That's correct. Sweet Aaron is the person this is about. Is he still insane, though? What happened with him? He, like, vanished off the face of the planet after that. Is Andy even alive? Yeah, like, multiple people are asking that. Okay, let me do my best to read this. If you can't see this, it is approximately 1,200 pages worth of text condensed into a single paragraph. And this isn't like a copy pasting error from me moving this from email to text. This is how it was sent to me. Because what I think happened is that they downloaded like a DMCA template in Word, and then they filled in the blanks poorly, and then copied the HTML page or the Word document, like Control-C, and then Control-Delete it into whatever program they use, probably Gmail. And this is just whatever the fuck I got. And what's interesting is that, one of the things interesting to me is that they write the company name Pink Sparkles, only pink is capitalized, all one word, media, all lowercase, space, period, LLC. That's a terrible, awful way to write that company name. And it's repeated over and over and over again, verbatim, in the exact same wrong way. And it makes me wonder if the guy who wrote it, like, I can't tell if he wrote it that way over and over again, repeatedly wrong in the exact same way, or if he copy pasted the name over and over again and just didn't even make sure when he wrote it the first time to see if it was correct. So I don't know. It's just terrible. John Cabin, production, and there's supposed to be a comma there. This is going well. John Cabin, production and promotion manager for Pink Sparkles Media LLC, holding owned. Is it? You don't. Okay, if your holding company has the word holding in it, you put that in the name. It would be like Pink Sparkles Media Holding LLC, not Pink Sparkles Media LLC Holding. Owned by Sweet Aaron. Send this on her authorized behalf, this DMCA, to inform that the original images and personal information was originally on the website GoFundMe and is in conflict with her DMCA and legal claim title known as publication with her DMCA and legal claim title known as publication of private facts, and is being used against her, Sweet Aaron, the owner of said published images and private facts, that has been used in acts of sextortion and cyberstalking. I guess this is related to the carrot in the butt, and factual stalking. So I guess sextortion and cyber stalking is a fictitious stalking, which I guess I would agree with. And then there's factual stalking by many who have found these two posts on kiwifarms.net and other images of her. Sorry, my brain, like a fucking fuse in my brain just blew reading that. I guess the Kiwi Farms is an image now. On her social media and outside sites, she has published two. Yet, these two posts are our main concern in proper case for some reason, like it's a proper noun, and concern us gravely for her personal safety and personal public livelihood. We have taken down, personal records of this, as well as names of sites that we have complied with the removal of the infringing content that has been used against her, illegally infringing upon her published content, DMCA. So is this all one sentence? We can be emailed back if records of this are needed to be presented with the signing of non-disclosure. Oh, they want me into an NDA. I didn't even read this when I received it. It was just bullshit, so I threw it up on the website. So if I want to ask them for proof that they own this copyrighted material, that her address is apparently her copyrighted material, I have to first enter into a non-disclosure agreement with her in order to see that evidence, so I do not post it on the site, I guess. So as not to reveal our personal records of the actions we have taken for her safety if needed, if you request two separate DMCAs as well, we can comply. This can also be produced for the removal and for immediate takedown of the two infringing posts and I guess there's two pairs of two images. Within one of them, your site was on our list of many, and we are sorry that it took so much time to contact you. We have taken note that you will have a policy for individuals that are posters not to reveal personal information or... Oh, Jesus. It's a responsible act. I think I'm going to... See, part of me wants to believe that this is a template. But the other part of me believes that there's no fucking way that this is a template, because it's so much bullshit. In fact, I'm looking at the post, right? And I see so many repeating words. It looks like someone has copy-pasted, but it's not copy-pasted. Like this part right here is... looks like the later parts, because it lines up so well that it looks copy-pasted, but it's not, because they're just using the same words over and over and over again. If I Control F information, I see 18 matches. If I Control F copyright, I get 13 matches. If I Control F for publish, I get 8 matches. Type in remove, I get 6 matches. It's just over. They keep repeating themselves. And I see this part right here as I've been looking at it. Oh God, I can't, like, I see words that I want to read, but I instinctively, my brain, as a brain tuned to read words, goes back into time to try and find the start of the sentence. But there is no start of the sentence. The entire thing is one fucking sentence. There is no start to it. So it's not even like I can go back to the start of the thought, because it's like someone has taken a thought and smeared it for like a mile, and it's so it's so disjointed. Said images in any, I guess I'll just start at any random place. Said images and any information about her posted in the one comment, the other her images. These can only be licensed and allowed to be used by contacting Pink Sparkles Media LLC, holding owned by Sweet Aaron, sponsoring services for a fully paid license and a legal end user agreement Yet those who have used her images and videos and personal information with targeted posts for responses to cause others to rally brigade and witch hunt against her or her brand have caused her social anxiety and has exacerbated emotional damage over a substantial period of time. She is a woman with severe neurological imbalance called ADHD and should not be in fear of her life, as opposed to people who don't have ADHD. They should all be in a constant state of fucking fear to balance things out, right? And that of her family, nor, as in LA nor is it spelled, the rights to her personal freedoms because of this. I am filing this DMCA with her authorized permission. See, I don't know where to stop either. You know what it looks like is, have you ever taken your phone and you just kept pressing the suggested word? You just keep pressing the suggested word, and it just keeps going, and then it starts repeating itself after a while, and keeps saying the same thing over and over again. That's what it makes me think of. It's like he started with John Cabin, production and promotion manager for Pink Sparkles Media LLC, and then he just starts tapping the suggested word button until it's several miles long. Yeah, see, it has to be a combination of things, because at the end, this sounds like... Because this reads like actual lawyer talk. He's like trying to intimidate me by using as many legalese words as possible. But he doesn't understand that if you use 1,000 legalese words in a single sentence, literally a single sentence, it has the opposite effect. It makes your thing look like complete fucking garbage, which can be completely and totally discarded in all ways. No, and my reply was, because from when I looked at it, they were trying to copyright her address, because the title of the DMCA is literally copyright infringement in DSA legal title claim is quote unquote publication of private facts. Like they got the form right. They know if you want something taken down off the internet, you have to file a DMCA. And they get to this part of the filling out the template, and usually you would say, you know, this is a image. This is an artistic work that I've done. This is a piece of music that I wrote, that I did. But they got to this and they realized that there is no work. They haven't made anything that's been republished without their permission or without a fair use. So they just fill in the name for the title of the claim as publication of private facts with complete disregard for what the fucking DMCA is supposed to be. So my response was, you are attempting to file a DMCA for information which I believe in good faith cannot be copyrighted, which is the second time I've ever had to file a DMCA or a counterclaim saying that you can't copyright this information. The first time was to the E3, because the E3 sent me a DMCA over the leak of journalist addresses. And my reply was, you can't copyright this because it's just names and addresses. This is public information. So Sweet Aaron and not the E3, the ESA, the parent company behind the E3. So they're in like their own little bubble of fucking weirdos who think they can copyright an address or something. They're getting smarter? Oh, fuck no. They're getting worse. I've had tons and tons of way more legitimate claims than this. My favorite was the guy who tried to was the eagle fucker who he was an actual, like, he had like a PhD. He was like, no, not even a PhD. He was like a doctorate, like a veterinary doctorate, an avian veterinarian with a doctorate in caring for rare endangered animals. And he was on the side, on the down low, also an avian zoophile who did bird fucking art for furries, like furry bird fucking, and not like anthropomorphized birds. The only anthropomorphized shit was like the facial expressions. It was like actual birds getting fucked, but they just had human expressions, kind of. Yeah, PhD of eagle fucking. Yeah, Dr. Scott, that guy. He was my favorite because I feel bad for him because it's like you go to school for like 8 years, more than 8 years, for your exotic avian veterinarian license, and then people find out who you are and post evidence of you being a dirty bird fucker, and you're just like, well, shit. I hope this doesn't come back to bite me in the ass. And he tried. he tried to file proof. He tried to file proof that he owned the work in question, right? So he submits to me basically a PDF of all his artistic work that he's claiming that we were published without fair use. And then he, like, because he's submitting a DMCA, like, you have to sign a DMCA under penalty of perjury. You have to be saying this is true under penalty of law. This is true, sworn to be true. So he takes the art, the avian art he drew of eagles getting fucked, and he signs his name over them, and then signs under penalty of perjury that he is the owner of the work. He drew it, and this is his information, and he's filing a DMCA for it. And then he after submitting to me the most ironclad evidence possible that these two people are the same person, the eagle fucker and the vet, the doctor, he puts over the art he submits, do not republish. And I'm like, I don't need your fucking permission to republish it. It's not like with signing under penalty of perjury where I can't, where, you know, if you're lying, you're in trouble with the law. You can't just inflict that upon me. You can't enforce that demand and expect me to give a shit. So he completely fucked himself. That was one of the funniest things that I've ever seen, ever. It's up there with the one that happened recently. the chick who filed a complaint with the IC3 and then sent me a PDF with like their name and address, like under a highlight layer that they expected I couldn't just click through and copy and paste from. Oh, man, I'm on like a DMCA kick. I'm thinking about all the funny shit people have sent me over the years. They don't learn. It's like, it's right here. It's 3 pages. There's like, I think there is, I want to say there's 50 threads to a page. So there is at least 100 of these. It looks like there's been more than 100. It looks like there's been close to 150. And they keep fucking doing it. I'm not even hiding it. It's not like this is like a secret part of the board that people don't know about. It's right there. And if you go to the help page, no, even more. If you go to the contact us page, I tell them, if you want to remove content, read the removing content page. And then on the removing content page, I say, go fuck yourself. And if you send me this, I will post it publicly. I will post it if you send me this. And they still do it. Every day they do it. And I just don't fucking get it. Do you think the birds in his fantasies were consenting or just rape? I think they were consenting, based on the faces. It never looked like they were struggling. He's not a doctor of struggle snuggles. He wants consenting avians. I don't know the rumors about 8chan and ZeroNet. Like, I've heard that they want to do something like that, but my issue with that is, like, you're going to get if you make a decentralized image board, you're going to have a lot of issues with child pornography. Like, you're just going to have it, especially in image board. Pleroma has kind of the same issues. But I've not seen widespread abuse of it. I just know that if you prop up like an 8chan on like a decentralized service like Pleroma, you're gonna have a ton of fucking problems with that shit. That already happened. Yeah, I mean, and you know the thing is that you can argue about ZeroNet and that kind of and liability and all kinds of stuff like that with decentralized services, and you can say, well, you know, it gets dealt with and it's legal because as long as you deal with it as adequately as possible, nobody can hold it against you. But the thing is that normies don't give a shit. Like, you can say we're doing everything possible and it doesn't jeopardize the site because we're taking adequate measures when possible to combat it. The moment a normal person goes to a website and sees child pornography, they are never coming back. So you can't have something like that achieve any kind of broader success. And you know, people would say, I don't want normies on my fucking image board. Well, normies fucking bankroll shit. I can tell you that the neat demographic does not throw much money at you. So, I don't know. There's a lot of issues to be resolved before anything like that can have any kind of success. I lied about not streaming later. I'm sorry. Okay, the kind of things that neats throw money at though is not that people don't like paying for shit. They don't like paying for access to websites. They don't like paying for video content. They just don't. And I'm not saying that bitterly. I'm saying that as someone who doesn't like to give money to shit. I would never ever give money to see something on a website. I just instinctively hate it. I fucking hate advertisements. I fucking hate paywalls. If you try to paywall me with because I have an ad blocker on a news site, I either don't go to your site or I use a paywall unblocker that aggregates content, or I use archive.is to get around the paywall. Because that downloads the page and then it removes the ads posthumous after the download is complete. I just hate it. And I feel that sentiment. I don't, the things that I support monetarily are either things that give me something, even if it's bullshit that doesn't have any value. It's either something like that or it's a continual thing. I'm currently a patron of two people, PilotRedSun and Dick Masterson. And the reason why is because I like to see the video streams of Dick. I think that it adds a lot to his streams more than just the audio does. Because he sits there and he's got that fucking giant dick, like the giant dildo hung up on the wall. And and he gets his face, he has good facial expressions when he's angry. He gets really excited. So I don't know. And I feel like I get my money's worth with that. So, and I want more PilotRedSun videos. I want more of his music because he's got good music. But I would never pay money to see a PilotRedSun video or to see a Dick Masterson stream. Like, if that's the bar of entry, it's just not happening. So, what was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about like the monetization of sites. I don't know. Maybe I'm an insane person. Chat, tell me if I'm the only one in the world who does this. But I like to walk around my apartment and talk to myself. And I like to have arguments with myself. And I call it my crazy walk. Because I'll walk back and forth and I'll have a conversation. And if I ever... It tears apart. It tears apart. The argument tears apart when I... Like, if I'm having an argument and the fake me makes a retort like, well, you're fucking crazy, you talk to yourself. The moment I acknowledge that I am talking to myself, it is like holding sand in your hands and putting it underwater. It dissolves between your fingers. The illusion of the sand in your hands is just gone. And it's every time. That's the breaking point in the conversation, is when it gets acknowledged. So I don't know if I'm a crazy person or not, but it's something that I do. And it works. I guess it works on my conversation. It works on, like, this podcasting, talking in the stream, is the perfect skill to hone by arguing with yourself, because you have to play devil and devil's advocate, and then you have to play your opponent as well. You have to contradict yourself. I see people. I see a lot of people. People are very torn on this. Either it's a normal thing or I'm a fucking schizo. I'm an Oblivion NPC. Try making friends and talking to them. Even when I had friends in real life, I would still do it. I never did it if people were around, because that's fucking weird. But I still did it. It's not even no, because I did it like when I lived at home. I did it when I was a teenager too, and I lived it with family and shit. And I went to school and shit. And we do it when the house was empty. I guess it's my version of masturbation. No, I used to do it in my head, but there's something about talking, because you hear it. It activates multiple senses in your head. I don't even know. This entire stream has just been me rambling. I haven't had much to show. I'll talk about this. I feel like I'm treading old ground because Jim already talked about it. But I do these streams with the anticipation of people watching them for no reason in the year 2024. So, for 2024 Gang, there's this shitty JRPG game called Heartbeat. In the year 2024, this game is completely irrelevant. It's forgotten. It's washed away like the sands of time. Like the stand in my hands I put under the water, or my conversations when I mention that I'm talking to myself during them. They made transphobic comments, and it really pissed off Reset Era. I'll just read them. It's by a woman. Her name is Nicotine, or Nicotini, I guess. And her comments are as follows. I've never been so ashamed to be born in this country until now. America, a place where men believe they can mutilate their penis and dress in an effeminate manner to become female. You're not a lesbian. You're not female. Lesbians don't like penis, no matter how you chop it up. You can surgically mold your penis into the Eiffel Tower if you want. You're not going to become France. You're not impressing anyone. That is probably one of the best lines I've ever read. You can surgically mold your penis into the Eiffel Tower if you want. You're not going to become France. That's perfect. That's really perfect. That's great. You are a straight man fetishizing lesbians to the point of trying to become one yourself. The problem? You can't. If a lesbian likes your dick or your, quote, vagina, she is not a lesbian. Men can't be lesbian. Too long didn't read. Trans women aren't women. Transbians aren't lesbians. And here is the LGBT eating itself, as has been prophesized. Because there is a great split in ideas that trans people are what they say they are, and women have a right of equality and self-determination. Because now it has become a thing. It is literally a thing. It's not a joke. It's not like a meme that women do not have their own space anymore. If you are a woman on the internet, even in real life, on college campuses, you do not have a space to be safely a woman anymore. You have to allow transgender people into your space. And I can't even imagine how frustrating that would be. Because number one, you're going to feel uncomfortable. You want to talk about periods. You want to talk about boys. You want to talk about ovulation and shit that only happens to real women. But you can't. Because you got people around you who are, not biologically female. But then also you're going to have your friends who are supportive of this idea of having transgender people in that circle. And you can't say anything about it because it causes problems. It gets you fucking expelled. It gets you fired from your fucking job. It gets you kicked out of your volunteering service. It completely jeopardizes the stability of your entire life to make the observation that this person is different from us, and it does not benefit this circle and the purpose of this circle to have them here. So, I mean, her comments really are, I mean, they're well pointed, but they're pretty mild. It's not like they're saying that trans people should die or anything. It's just, you know, lesbians don't want to fuck you, and that's okay. Women have the ability to choose not to fuck people. The rest of this, the article itself is really shit. This is about a website called Bounding Into Comics. I've heard of it once before. It has some kind of relation to Vic Mignogna. I think they're very anti-Vic or something. I don't know the details, but I do want to point out that this article is utter and complete fucking trash, because we get down to here, and the fucking genius editor who put up this article did not shrink down these phone screenshots so that when I'm reading the fucking article on my desktop, they take up the entire height of the monitor. Like, on the fucking Kiwi farms, if I notice someone is using phone screenshots and not thumbnailing them, I will thumbnail the fucking phone screenshots so that the 50% of people reading the site on a desktop computer will not suffer this. But for some reason, Bounding Into Comics and the editor, what's this guy's name? Spencer Bakuli, did not feel it worth his time to make his article not look like a fucking forum post. So this is what we get. None of this is actually interesting. I don't know why I'm ranting too much about these fucking phone screenshots, but it's just her explaining like her position in how she hates being called a TERF. Like, what? How? She's not even particularly against a lot of this shit. She's just, I don't want to suck a dick because I'm not into dick, and that's okay. And people are telling her no, it's not okay. What happened as a result of this though is that a lot of people on Reset Era found out about it and started to rating bomb the game. And it's very, very interesting. I've never seen this before. But Steam has some kind of magical ability now. It has some kind of, I don't know if it's like manually flagged or if it's AI or what. But when it notices that a ton of ratings off the mean come in all at once on one day, it flags those days as having off-topic ratings, and it excludes them from the overall rating of the game, which is an interesting idea. But it would have really devastated this game's very positive score, over 200 reviews, to have these like 50 plus negative reviews come in all in one day. But the counter reaction has been equally strange. Because what happened is once the devs, I think the devs got kind of fed up. Because this woman, Nicotini, does not appear to actually be a dev. She appears to be a woman who is the girlfriend of a dev. And when these comments came out, the head, I think she's the girlfriend of the head developer. Correct me if I'm wrong. But she got her boyfriend in trouble basically by saying that if she was a lesbian, she probably has lesbian friends who have had this happen to them and negatively impacted their lives. But all the devs got in trouble for this, for her comments, because they didn't immediately come out, fire the guy, and sabotage their game by getting rid of their head developer because of shit his girlfriend said. Oh, she's a lesbo? Is she a developer? Oh, she's a fan artist. That's right. I'm sorry. The comments are right there in front of me. I'm not reading them. So I woke up this morning this is from James Grimsworth, Grimswolf, who I believe is the head developer. Find out my previously favorite. Oh, this is just a random fucking guy complaining about transphobia. Where's the response from the developer? I feel like a retard. Because there was a comment where they were saying that she was just like a fan artist. It wasn't. She's not even like involved in the development of the game. She's like a fan artist or something. Oh. Oh, okay. She is a lesbian. My personal views on gender ideology and the trans community have nothing to do with my girlfriend's game, Heartbeat RPG. Heartbeat RPG has no attachment to this, but I guess once you share your opinion on something, they have to start a witch hunt on you and everything you know. So that was her thing. She's a girlfriend of a developer or an artist or something for Heartbeat RPG. I finally figured it out. I had all the information in front of me and I still fucked it up. But apparently, apparently the actual developers of Heartbeat RPG had an interesting response. They decided to put the game on sale, and they put the game, the bundle, the Heartbeat RPG and soundtrack, on a sale. Now, for the actual game, it's 35% off, but if you buy the bundle, it's 41% off, and 41% happens to be the percentage of population of the trans community who have attempted suicide at some point in their life. And it's really upset people. Heartbeat devs respond to backlash by offering game at 41% discount in apparent reference to trans suicide rates. Following the backlash and accusations of transphobia received by indie RPG Heartbeat due to comments made by the girlfriend of one of the development team members, the dev team has responded to their critics by offering the game and its soundtrack at a 41% discount, which appears to be a reference to the rate of trans suicides in the United States. As a result of this discount, Heartbeat has begun to climb the list of Steam's best sellers. As of writing, it is currently the 16th best-selling game on Steam. Now, I verified this, and this is interesting to me, but this is, I had this in my cache. I had this open already, and I bought the game, of course, because I'm a bigot. It was like, what, $9? I might play it, whatever. It's $10. It's I could get a Something Awful Forum account, or I could get Heartbeat, so whatever. I might try it. But I went to the thing, and I pulled it up, and I went down it, and sure enough, it is in the 16th position in the screen cap. But this is a screen cap of what I have open in my Steam browser. In the Steam search, however, it does not show up. And let me refresh just to make sure that it still does not show up. This is still top selling. Yeah. Yeah, it's not there. And this is not logged in. This is just in my browser. I pulled this up to show people that it was the 16th, but it doesn't show up, and it doesn't show up anywhere at all. I can't find it. I can go back as far as I want. It just doesn't show up. And I don't know if it excludes titles. I mean, what's the criteria of them not? Why is it 35? I'm not signed in. How are 354 titles have been excluded if I'm not signed in? I don't, because it's not early access, is it? It doesn't look like it's in early access. So what the fuck is it filtering out? Is there on page 4? I think you're fucking with me. Yeah, no, it's not on page 4. It would be on the first page. What the fuck is it filtering out, and why? Oh, it's an adult game? What the fuck's in it? Is there like titties in this? Oh, okay. I will accept that as an answer. If there's titties in this game, I did not know. I didn't buy it expecting like pixel. I mean, it's a pixel game. How the fuck is there porn in it? Bread is in it? What the fuck does bread mean? Oh my god, you can tell I'm not a gamer. I'm completely out of my fucking depth trying to figure this shit out. Okay, so that's fair. That's a fair thing. Sure, whatever. I guess I'm happier knowing that Steam's not penalizing the game because it's of the fucking of the outrage. I'm happier knowing that. I feel like an idiot because I didn't know that there were titties in this fucking game apparently, and that Steam filters that out by default. Fake gamer cow. I don't know. Oh, but I mentioned this before. I mean, people are buying the game now because of the outrage and trying to counter the PC outrage. My favorite thing is I went through all the reviews that were made on those days that were excluded in this period of off-topic reviews, and any comment I saw that mentioned transphobia or TERFs or anything of the sort, I rated funny. And I reported everybody who advocated pirating the game. So I did my duty as a narc to go through and studiously negrate and report everything that I could. So I did my janitorial duties for the day. And yes, it made me feel good because I don't know, if you advocate piracy on Steam, do they like ban your account or they just ban you from posting reviews? If you get your account banned for I mean, number one, that's illegal. Number two, Steam is a marketplace. They don't want people advocating fucking piracy. That actually gets people's accounts banned. I would laugh. I would really laugh. Like, how fucking stupid do you have to be? Janny, yeah, promote me. Make me Steam Janny. I'll go through and I'll negrate all the posts that are indignant and outraged. I'm not giving you my fucking Steam account. I'm not telling you. Get fucked. Don't add me on Steam. I have like 10 people on my Steam account, and they're all people I've known since I played TF2 when I was like 15. Or Dota 2 when I was like 18 or 19. I don't want. I like my friends list at right there with nobody on it. Yeah. Okay, now we've been at this for about an hour, so I get to bring this up. Dragon Con, which was an anti-Vic Mignogna, which is why I know about this, I guess. The co-founder of Dragon Con, a anti-kick Vic Con, has been charged again, in all caps, with having child porn. Read the tagline. A convicted child molester, which is always fun to talk about. Why do I keep talking about fucking pedophiles, man? I need to find something else. It's just like permeating. We're going to be like the British. We're going to be having pedo-geddons and freaking out about this shit. But a convicted child molester who found himself at the center of a computer hacking investigation is now facing child porn charges. And from what I understand, he was the co-founder of this anime convention, but he was already awaiting trial for something. When like he was helping. Oh, I know what it was. He got hacked. Their convention got hacked, right? And he was helping the feds investigate the hacking, and then they found child porn on his computer. So now, while he's trying to get parole for the other thing that he's already in trouble for, he's trying to get parole for this thing. And I like this line. With an oxygen tank attached to his wheelchair, Kramer described to a judge his urgent need for getting out of jail for an upcoming spine surgery. So he's pretty fucked. Now, I know people in chat are already freaking out. So let's go ahead and bring this up. Let's just take a good look at it. I know it's frustrating to talk about looks for anybody listening. But I do want to point out that I had no idea. Let me take a step back. Let me pull up something for people listening to describe this picture for you. Like, extremely. Before I saw this picture, I had not a fucking clue that they had state-issued prison uniform kippahs. I had never seen this. I had never heard of this. I never even thought about it. For some reason, prison and Jewish people do not collide in my brain at all. So this picture and this, like, it's the same material as his jumpsuit, as his prison uniform. I don't know. Like, do they have fabric for, like, Sikhs who wear turbans and shit? Do they have okay, you know how Sikhs get to go to school and on planes with their daggers because they have to have their daggers on them at all times? Do they get a fucking shank in prison? Do they get to have a dagger in jail? I know in school they have to have it, like, glued shut or something stupid like that. Maybe they can. Maybe they can get, like, a dagger. Maybe it's made out of cloth. It's made, like, their turban and their dagger are both made out of prison fabric. That's bullshit. That's bullshit, prison. I love my dagger. If I was Sikh, I want my fucking dagger. I want my fucking prison issue dagger. Or otherwise you're infringing my fucking right to exercise my religion. That's that's bullshit. Okay. I think that's it. I will be doing a stream either tomorrow. Oh man, that's a tough one. If I do it on Friday would be more convenient for people, I think. But if I do it Thursday, and I do it each Thursday, then I get to do a Halloween stream, which is awesome because I love Halloween. I could just do it whenever the fuck I want, I guess. Just do it one a week, any day of the week besides Wednesday. I'll think about it. And let people know. And I guess I'll podcast it as well. I'll do it as a bonus episode or some shit. Yeah. I told you, no, I'm dedicated to it. I'm going to do dead locales or dead people streams for Halloween because it's my month, man. Even though this month in particular is extremely busy for me, but I mean, people are giving me tons of money now, so I have no choice. I have to act like this is a job. I have to bustle. Ukraine does celebrate Halloween. It's actually very, very comfy. The most at home I felt was when was last October because people were pulling out pumpkins and there were skeletons hanging and they put spider webs on stuff. It was very, very comfy. And in the last week of October, I could tell people were having parties in the buildings because they had like colored lights on and they were dancing and music. It felt very homely. Everybody loves Halloween, man. Everybody, everywhere. If you don't like Halloween, you're probably living in a desert and you probably hate everybody. All right. There's no Halloween in Serbia? Well, fuck Serbia, man. Should have let the kebabs win. I'm stalling because I'm trying to think of what outro song to play. For some reason, I didn't have one in my head. I'll pull up my trusty music list. No, I'll find one. I've been adding studiously to this, expanding my list permanently. I feel like I need something Halloween themed. Serbia. Oh, I should probably take this down. I don't want people to think I'm up to something. I don't want people to think I'm implying anything with this picture. No, I've developed a system. The intro songs are instrumental, and the outro songs are with lyrics. Because I need to be able to cut the intro song early after like a minute, but the outro song plays from beginning to end. Spooky scaries. No, I'll have to save that for a different stream. Here, I'll play this. I think I've already played this one before, but it does not matter. And I'll see you guys soon, not next week, soon, because I got spooky stuff to catch up on. And take it easy, my friends.